Okay, we are recorded. Thanks, Snow, for joining us for this new episode of Pepper Talk. I'm Pepper. I'm honored to have Snow on this show for just to talk a little about his product and what he's building and his the future roadmap and stuff. Would you run just a little like quick intro of something that you can say about your background and like why you dip in the field to choose Taproot as a universe as your first starting point.
Um, Firstly, yeah, my nickname is Snow. I am a founder of Tiramisu Wallet, and I really appreciate that you invited me to your show. Thank you very much. Um, as for like my background, I work for a relatively large corporation, so I guess sometime by 12 months ago, I was getting very bored with my corporate work, and I decided to use some of my time off to develop something. At the time, I all I knew was that I wanted to work on something that was not yet developed to give me an edge. And at the time, there was basically two protocols on Bitcoin at the very early stages, and one of them was RGB, and the other one was Taproot Assets at the time. So I started joining different meetings, learning about it. And around that time, as I was trying to start my own node and interface with the APIs, I was just like first able to get my Taproot Assets node working. So I decided to move forward with that and to develop some kind of a front end that could be used to do simple on-chain operations such as minting, such as just like displaying the assets or doing like analyzing, seeing the asset, manipulating with it, minting it, burning it. And that's what led me to develop the backend for Tiramisu Wallet. And the backend was developed somewhere around the beginning of 2023. So I was experimenting with it, playing with it, adding new functionalities. And around October last year is when Taproot Assets hit the mainnet. There was a huge announcement by Lightning Labs about this. And that's when in a somewhat unexpected fashion, I suddenly started getting a lot of users, moving money back and moving Bitcoin back and forth, moving assets back and forth, minting new assets. And I remember it was one weekend when there was just so many transactions that I was like absolutely overwhelmed, and couldn't even stop responding to all the Telegram messages because there were so many. It was right after Taproot Assets hit mainnet, and that's when like Tiramisu really got serious because people were there was a lot of users. People are using it for mainnet transactions. So that was like a moment where it really became like more serious and bigger. And since then, basically since October, I was mostly just catching up with different issues that people were experiencing and different problems, fixing different issues that occurred. And it's around this time, around January, that we are really like looking into next steps and taking seizing the initiative back. So that's where we are right now. That is my background. I am of a developer background. So like what I enjoy is writing code. I like things that work. That do something. So I just enjoy like working on something like Tiramisu. I find it very fulfilling for myself to see that people are getting a lot of use out of it. That it enables their creativity. there were so many people that minted their assets. The PayPay person that you also did an interview with, he actually started a coin and a bunch of NFTs there that are actually pretty successful. So,
Yeah.
so I just like to watch and how people's creativity is enabled, what projects people start, what they do with those assets, what they are interested in. I find that all very fulfilling.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks for the input here. That kind of linked to the first question. Can you provide an overview of Terramissa Wallet and how it utilizes Taproot Asset Protocol, and what sets it apart from other protocols, product like the Nostr Asset Protocol in the market?
Yeah. So just to summarize, Tiramisu. So it's basically a front end for Taproot Assets Protocol that uses a metadata scheme similar to what OpenSea uses to store fungible assets such as stablecoins, as well as non-fungible assets or NFTs in Taproot Assets Protocol. It has minting functionality, allowing you to mint your own assets if you so choose. It now has bulk minting functionality, allowing you to mint NFT collections on Taproot assets. It has transfer functionalities both for Bitcoin as well as Taproot assets, and it has Lightning functionalities, which will soon be extended to Taproot Assets Lightning functionalities. That's basically what it offers. And one of its features that it has is a liquidity pool feature. So when you are exchanging assets or using any either buying them or selling them, there is a liquidity pool feature that allows us to represent the price of the assets, and that also allows people to make transactions without like an active person that they have to exchange with. In addition to this, we also support order book, allowing people to create both buy as well as sell orders. So they can say, oh, I'm looking for this much of this coin, and I'm offering this many Satoshis, or vice versa. They can say, oh, I have this coin, and I'll sell it to you for this many Satoshis. Or people can just trade directly with the liquidity pool at a current market price.
Yeah.
But to your second question,
that's different from Nostr Asset Protocol. I mean,
good question. I would say that how we are different is that we interface more closely with the protocol itself, that we enable minting of assets. So so you can mint your assets. We work with NFTs, so you can mint collections. We support collections. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like a super complicated functionality, but it's something that we wanted to support from the beginning. And then there is the liquidity pool feature that we are supporting that sets us apart. Whereas I feel like Nostr Assets, it's more focused on the order book functionality. So that's what they are focusing on. Also, I think that now they are narrowly focused on building a very big market with the 2 or 3 assets that they have, whereas we just allow anybody to mint anything and anybody to trade anything. That we are more open in terms of how many assets there are.
Gotcha. Got it. Yeah, definitely. But this is really those are the restrictions for Taproot Asset, right? Because they primarily focus on the issuance, transfer, burning of tokens. So
exactly.
do you see this, the potential for Terramissa Wallet to support additional functionalities, or I would say just to be more utilized or interactive with other protocols. I mean, such as RGB, right? In the future, maybe we could have something, supported uh, for issuance of RGB20 tokens, and have them traded on, the platform as well. And maybe there's a lot of, like, a million ways of utilities that, the stuff that you can do to implement, or there's other possible ways. I just can't think of it, but you can tell me.
Oh, so yeah, you actually hit nail on the head. That, like, we are absolutely planning on adding more protocols. To mention, like, RGB is an obvious other one that we were looking into. I think that will be one of the next targets that we will engage. The reason why we haven't engaged it yet is because when I was looking into it a year ago, the transfers of, like, RGB were, like, more complicated. That there was, like, a more back and forth than with Taproot assets, where Taproot assets, you were only exchanging one invoice. Whereas with RGB, it was, like, more complicated at the time. I'm sure they made it simpler. So that would be next target. And we also want to look into other protocols that are on chain, such as Runes and other, like, we kind of want to attack, like, new novel things that nobody else is looking into, to serve the community that's around, like, altcoins on Bitcoin.
Definitely. Because, yeah, like what you just said, RGB can do a lot of more stuff other than that. But the maybe there's something that you don't know, because I think V 0.11 version is on the way, and it's been tested with Bitmask wallet, and it should be ready for this month. But all the documentations and technical docs and video tutorials, they're very outdated. And like what you just said, RGB has a really high entry of barrier, and it really takes some time to look at it and to build upon on it. And I mean, the best way is to learn. First, you have to figure out the concepts, and second, you have to talk with some experts, because those materials are outdated. You have to talk with some, like Hunter from Bitmask.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, and other from and others from Ayers wallet, because they're supported by Bitfinex. So you have to talk to those guys, instead of just digging around by your own, because I don't think that will help.
Yeah, we definitely want to start supporting RGB. It's very high on our roadmap. We also want to integrate closely with Lightning Network, because Taproot assets will be hitting Lightning sometime in the spring. So we also want to set up our own edge node to allow for transfers of the assets directly on Lightning Network. That's something that we are targeting to. And then there are kind of more boring things that we'll be doing immediately. We want to redesign the front end of the wallet. That's important. We have received lots of complaints with people. Myself being a backend developer, obviously, like, I cannot create a very a beautiful front end or user friendly front end. So that's we are actually hiring for a front end dev right now. Potentially, we want to consider developing a mobile app for people to use. So those are all things on our agenda.
Definitely, yeah. So since you have just mentioned the long-term perspective, the long-term roadmaps, how do you envision this in the coming days? You have like a approximately like time span. time spent on this? Like, what's the really like getting into detail of the roadmaps? I'm just getting into detail of the roadmaps. Like,
Oh, very good. So number one, it's something that's still being worked on. However, first thing that's high on the agenda is upgrade on the front end. That's something that will be coming like within a month. I really want to roll it out quick. And that might potentially we are looking into a mobile app, having that develop and interfacing it with our API. And then I think it will be inevitable that we'll have to integrate with Taproot assets on Lightning, because Taproot assets now are only on chain, which will allow people to withdraw Taproot assets instantly without needing to wait for on-chain confirmation, or to waiting for the 10 minutes or whatever number of blocks it will take. So those are and something that has just happened a few days ago is that we enabled bulk minting for NFT collections. So you may have seen a few posts on Twitter about like the NFTs that we have minted, and there will be other creators that are waiting for this feature. So we might very soon release the first 10K NFT collection on Taproot assets. So we are definitely planning on going deeper into the NFTs.
Yeah, I'm thinking, some features that you should be considered first. Let's go back to the app that you wanted to design. I mean, designing the app isn't a really like a really inefficient way. I mean, I know this. You must heard of the PWA, right? This kind of technology that can enable you to bring something like the website into like kind of fake app, but like they're very hyped about those stuff because it's easy. You get to pass around with the inspection of App Store. I think you should consider this, and that's the point one. And point two is that maybe we could have some more features with the platform. I'm suggesting maybe you can put on loyalties on NFT collections. So the issuance have this incentive, like they got incentivized by promoting their projects and trading and stuff, so they have something in return.
Oh, that is actually a very good point. We actually do support royalties that are 1% of the traded volume, but we only support that for coins. We are not supporting that for NFTs yet, but that will also be coming very soon. So yes, there will be incentive structure coming, and that's also something that will probably be coming this month, where we will document more closely how the incentives work, who gets incentivized for what. Like our interest is really to get. Like, I just want to unleash more people's creativity. I want to get more people minting, creating NFTs, because that's what I enjoy watching. So that's what we will be after. I think we will create some kind of an incentive too, where we'll have discounts on minting assets, just to bring in more people.
The problem of NFT lardy is that you don't have a packed token to that. So it becomes a little bit it becomes a little bit hard to implement it. So because I'm the holder of Atom Coin, so
very nice.
Something like maybe we can use Atom Coin as the platform tokens. So we went from there. We have a more closed ecosystem tied together. And we can use the Atom Coin as it's similar like the Uniswap, like the Uniswap, the token Uni, right? will be like a platform token, so we have more, like the holders have more incentive. They're more incentivized to hold them. Other than, right now it's feels to, all the holders, like the Atom coin was something to a meme coin, but I mean it's a first Taproot asset coin, but it get beaten by the Nostr asset protocol assets.
Mhm.
So that's something I would like to say. Maybe take a close consideration of how to utilize and how to best featuring the Atom coin to
Yes.
make it like a hype and a popular one. This will really stand out your platform other than the Nostr asset protocol, because
Mhm.
like, to first, I mean, I don't really like the name. Like, they kind of take advantage of the Nostr protocol, but they have nothing to do with Nostr protocol. But the I wanted to reveal something, because people trust Nostr as a protocol. There are two reasons. First, it has short-term hype and like short-term financial outcomes. And second is that they're backed by I think Waterdrip VC.
Mhm.
So those are just two reasons, and people actually, I had some feedbacks, like people were complaining, well, um, they just told me that Nostr as a protocol was a like pure centralized platform, but they trust them because they're backed by some VCs, and their front end was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like users are very, they don't know much about it. I'm not saying they're dumb. They don't really know the deep technology and nothing behind them, because you are back end engineering, so you know much. The logics, but you don't know how to satisfy and how to make a better use of a really vibe kind of environment for the users. So I think what users want is something maybe on the surface, instead of just going very deep on the technical side.
Yeah, and thank you for that. Thank you for that feedback, and I'll take it to my heart and definitely. Um, yeah, it is what we are thinking now to like integrate AtomCon deeper with Tiramisu to give it more utility and make it into a platform token, so that and that will also reward people who got in early and who are actually interested in the coin and are kind of a part of the OG group. So I think that would be fair.
Definitely, yeah.